Hey everybody, what's going on? I am Jamie Dawn, your evolutionary revolutionary astrologer, bringing you your celestial wisdom for the week of November 5th through the 11th, 12th. We'll see how far we go into things of 2023. And just a quick reminder that if you're looking for me, I am actually going to be serving in my role as staff director at Nine Gates Mystery School starting on Sunday, and I won't be back until the following Sunday, the 19th. So if you need me, just reach out. I'll respond as soon as I can. But just know that I'm going to be 100% focused and dedicated to that time. But if I can get away with it, I will get another video out while I'm there just to kind of check in, see how everybody's doing, and offer some energy that is happening for us because we are made of nature, we are made of stars. And even though, as I say, the planets don't make us do anything, we feel them. And that's one of the things I love about being human is that we feel things, you know? And as hard as it might be, especially for super sensitives, is to have all of these emotions kind of stirring up and around and trying to make sense of them. And the mind tries to wrap itself around them. It can be frustrating. It's not always easy, but one of the things about this experience of the humanness is it allows us to be able to be more awake, more aware, more kind. That's the point. So let's just see if we can work with this energy. I was talking to someone earlier about, we feel the intensity of the energies and the emotions, and we think, God, is this ever going to end? And then it does. The cycle finishes and we start into something else. And so what we're working with, especially this week, we're in Scorpio season. So it's very deep and penetrating. And it's also, we're going from one extreme to the other. We're probably feeling a lot of extreme emotions, or none at all, right? And so in the middle of all this Scorpion energy, we are wanting and needing to be deeply emotionally bonded to something we believe in, to someone we believe in, things like that. And with that being said, because we want these emotional bonds, we have to feel things. And also remember, if you're feeling something negative, if you will, we can't heal what we don't feel. So it's important that we walk through the feelings. I have this sadness that sits inside of me at times. And often it's because I can go back and think about something that I was desiring that I didn't get. So I feel this sense of loss and sadness to it. And I've been asking myself and talking to this emotion of sadness of like, what are you here for? What are you trying to show me? Every time I feel sad, what do I do? What does it point me to? And it leads me back to tools. It leads me back to more self-love, more self-compassion, And it also leads me back to speaking kindly to myself. As I was saying, I was talking to somebody earlier about, I've said this a couple of times, but, if I'm sitting there listening to someone talk badly about themselves, very often I will go into no, you're not, you are amazing and wonderful. And it's true. It's true. That person is. Why don't I say that to myself? And that's probably the key. If I had to give a theme for this week, it's really going to be a lot about that self-love, self-compassion, speaking kindly to ourselves. And I'm dedicated to that. Remember, I mentioned before where it was about 2 weeks ago, moving into appreciation, that I was dedicated to appreciating every single thing in relationship. Well, let's start doing, I'd say this week in particular, let's really look at ourselves and appreciate everything about ourselves, right? Loving ourselves, laughing when we make a mistake because there's something we can learn. If we keep repeating mistakes, then that's a pattern that needs to shift. We have tools. We can't say, I want to learn these tools, or I just learned this wonderful energetic work or whatever, and not be given the practice, right? So a couple of themes for the week. I'll point to some planetary energy. Saturn stationed direct on Saturday, the 4th. And so now we're starting to feel some forward movement with Saturn. The thing with Saturn and Pisces, though, is that we may feel a little constricted in our imagination. We might feel a little dampened or a heavy feeling when we're trying to really tap into that psychic realm, when we're trying to tap into the imaginal realm, or when we're trying to tap into our emotions. Because Saturn has a restrictor plate on it, right? Saturn consolidates. Now, the gift of Saturn in Pisces is that we can, if we allow ourselves to take some time out to retreat, to dream, to use our creativity and imagination, Saturn can help to bring it into manifestation. Now we have the Sun in Scorpio and Mars in Scorpio, and they are moving, they're conjunct, they're close enough in orb that we can say they're conjunct, or I like to say canoodling. And they're moving into an exact conjunction on the 12th of November. However, we haven't had Sun-Mars conjunction in quite a while. And so remember what I mentioned in some previous videos, that when there's a conjunction happening, it's almost like these two planets are standing back to back, and that they really can't see each other, but they interact together. It's a unification. And so the Sun in Scorpio is energized by going deep into, say conversations or connections or investigations. Mars is driving us. Mars is our also aggressor, right? And so we could become really aggressive in getting what we want and stopping at nothing and letting our emotions run wild, So we've got to really pay attention when this energy, especially this week, is stirring up, because we just had a full moon, right? A week ago, a full moon eclipse. Well, that means next week we're going to be leading into a new moon. And so here's all this energy that is building, and it's most likely going to be a lot of internal conflict, a lot of internal energy, drive, motivation, excitement, that sort of thing, desire. Yeah. Scorpio is a very desirable sign. And so we may have all of this great desire for sex, for connection, for bonding, right? But if the external world isn't giving us what we want or reflecting what we are feeling internally, the frustrations show up, and we could get aggressive. We can get a little angry, things like that. Now, we also have Venus in Virgo. She's going to make her move into Libra on Wednesday. But before she does that, because Pluto's at its last degrees of Capricorn, Venus on Monday into Tuesday is making a trine to Pluto. So this could be at the beginning of the week, we may get some sort of news or experience in our relationships or our finances, the values that are deep and meaningful. It may be that we're able to actually manifest some things tangibly that we've been wanting, because we started using some discrimination, saying this works for me, that doesn't work for me. How do we make this, take something out of nothing and create something beautiful? That's what I can see happening Monday, Tuesday. So if you have, especially we have Mercury trine Neptune, Mercury in Scorpio, trine Neptune in Pisces. So when we bring in these energies, there's a lot of creativity involved. There's a lot of communication of big picture things, of painting that pretty picture. There might be some rose-colored glasses that's okay to wear. And then when Venus moves into Libra on Wednesday, she's exalted. She's in her home sign of Libra. And so here we're going to be wanting some balance and harmony in our relationships, in life, in everything that we're doing. I'm always reminded of this, especially if I'm doing any sort of spell casting or invocations, things like that. But nature requires balance. And so when we are working with something and we're saying, I want this, the nature says, what are you willing to sacrifice to obtain this? Venus in Libra. If you say, I want this relationship and this is what I want to see, well, you may have to give up something else. What is it? What are you willing to sacrifice for that? Or I'm willing to get out of debt, or I'm willing to work harder and get this new income. What are you going to sacrifice? Family time? Something's got to give, because we live on this planet of duality, and therefore nature requires balance. So keep that in mind. As Venus is moving through Libra, we're looking for ways to have some equilibrium. The other thing, though, we have to keep in mind with this Libra energy and the balancing, is that we can't have peace without war because there's balance. So I would imagine that there's going to be internal conflict, external conflict, but there's also going to be some peace talks coming. Again, speaking kindly to ourselves, we're working with the internal conflict, right? And being able to really come together and use our tools to find a way to have peace. Now, Mercury also is making a move into the sign of Sagittarius, immediately squaring off with Saturn. So there's going to be a moment that happens on Friday into Saturday. There may be some tension here around our belief systems. What do we really think? What do we really believe? How do we actually put this together? There could be some good initiations that take place during this time where our mind is sharp and it's open, and we want to have this openness, but we're going to be questioning things. We're going to be wondering, is it really what this teacher, let's say, says it is? Be careful too. When Mercury's in Sagittarius, there can be those false teachers that show up as well. We may believe everything we hear. Not everything you read and hear is necessarily true. Checking in with the body, coming back to what is true for us. Yeah. So, the body doesn't lie. If somebody says something to you, let's just say they even say something like, are you, you're always angry, or you're always this. No, I'm not. I'm not going to take that as my truth. But thank you for sharing that. That's your perspective, but that doesn't mean it's my truth. Right? So keep checking in with yourself. I feel like into the weekend, we're going to be questioning, we're going to be checking in to say, is this really true for me? Is this really true for you? There may be quite a few people that jump on soapboxes and try and teach from that place and kind of preach, if you will. So that could certainly arouse some emotions and some reactions. Mars is going to oppose Uranus on Saturday. So anything goes. It could be this sudden eruption of pushback or sudden eruption of anger, emotions because of things that are being said that we disagree with, or there's some sort of confrontation, because we have a new moon on November 12th. And that's also when Sun and Mars are canoodling. So the Scorpio new moon, I'll just speak to that for a moment. I'll try and do another video just for that while I'm at mystery school. But that Scorpio new moon is going to give us a nice moment to be able to speak truth, to feel safe within ourselves, and to be able to say, my intentions for commitment, for going deeper, my intentions to be devoted in a way that forms real emotional bonds is anchored in my knowing of truth, what my truth is. And if I don't know what my truth is, I'm going to go investigate. I'm going to go seek it out, and I'm going to find that center for me. And it's not about imposing it on anybody else. It's about anchoring it into myself so that I can show up even fuller for those who I care about, who I connect with, who I call beloved, whatever. The other thing about this Scorpio new moon that I think is going to be very powerful is that we may stop at nothing to get what we desire. Now, as I really love the Buddhist philosophy, and in Buddhism, desire is one of the ways that we suffer. So here's the thing. Without desire, we don't create. In my interpretation, in my truth, desire is not bad. It's only the attachment to it that creates our suffering. So we want something, we set our intentions, and then we let them go. And we say, okay, let the universe decide. And we put ourselves in the right place at the right time with the right people, and it just shows up, right? So look for those opportunities. All right, you guys, I hope this helps. Please like, subscribe, share, comment. Come find me at jamiedawn.com. And I look forward to connecting with you when I return. And also, one other little note, if you have any sort of intentions, prayers, things that you want to bring, that you want me to take with me to Nine Gates in this powerful energy field, please reach out. I'm happy to carry that with you. All right, you guys, have a great week.